Well, now that we got the top 10 best movies of 2017 out of the way, let's get down to the ones I know you're waiting for me to just rip a new one. The 2017 top 10 worst movies I reviewed. And there was an asterisk by that. Why? Well, one of these on here I actually didn't do a proper review on, but I'll explain when I get to that one. And why is it a part 1? Well, there will be a part 2 because I know me, and no matter how much I want to condense why I believe these movies are bad and they deserve to be on the top 10 worst list, there's a very strong possibility I might go a little bit too more in depth than I'm planning on, and I only have a limited amount of space to upload, so take what you can. So, without further ado, and with my rage solely intact, let us dive into the top 10 worst movies of 2017, starting with the bottom 5, I guess you could call them. So, in 10th place, this is another reason why you don't wait till the end until you finally do your reviews. Pitch Perfect 3. Oh boy. Like I mentioned in my review, Pitch Perfect 3 is by all accounts not that bad of a movie. The problem is that movie's so disjointed and convoluted that even by my own standards, it's tough for me to actually understand what the heck was going on. Look, I watch Christopher Nolan films. I can understand the craziness, especially from, his more avant-garde pictures. I can actually explain everything that's going on in Inception, except for the ending, because that's supposed to be ambiguous. Pitch Perfect 3, however, is convoluted for the sake of convolutedness. It seems to me like they wanted to tell this story, and then halfway through they realize, that's a dumb idea, no one's going to see it, we can't make a trailer out of this. So why don't we add in Fat Amy's drug-dealing, secretly evil father thing, and try to deal with all that? And it throws it off. And you introduce all these interesting characters, for the first time, actually, characters I wanted to see more of in a Pitch Perfect movie, besides Pentatonix. And no, I will never let that go. Or Clay Matthews. But all these new characters that I would kind of enjoy, would want to see, and want to see their chemistry bounce off the Bellas, and they do nothing with it. Yeah. This one's on my list solely for the fact that at the end of the year, even now I can't figure out what the heck they were doing. And even with the other bad ones I saw, like Fist Fight's not on this list, it's just a bad comedy, but it had some actual one bit of satire I kind of approve of. And even Murder on the Orient Express I kind of had some issues with near the end, but the beginning was so enjoyable. This was one of those movies that sitting through the entire thing, I kind of glazed over and couldn't even remember what the heck I was watching half the time. And once again, the Bellas can't sing, I'm sorry. The rest of them are better. Move on. On that note, let's move on to the asterisk in this little top 10 list of ours. Well, peek behind the scenes, guys. While Lego Batman, if I remember correctly, was my first review, it wasn't actually the first movie I was going to ever review. I wanted it to be on something big, something I would have some actual attachment to, or something I could at least rage for a good bit about. And well, that would be the wonderful holiday Valentine's movie, 50 Shades Darker. Yes, I did go to see that movie. Calling it movies being incredibly generous, but I digress. I originally went to go in and go see it. I sat through it. I was gritting my teeth the entire time trying not to say anything because I was surrounded by 30 to 40-year-old women going, ooh, that Dorian Gray, I do declare. Just, why? Why do people enjoy this movie? No, I'm being serious here. Why? It's nothing but a crappy Harlequin romance. Just, if you took two things out. 1, replace the pirate with a wannabe billionaire. 2, replace the action and adventure and finding something new and being free from your confinement to actually being confined and doing a whole bunch of other things that really just seem kind of weird. And I can get into a massive debacle into that movie's underlying sequence of light BDSM and all that stuff, and I'm not going to touch that with a 50-foot pole, mostly because I don't need YouTube coming on my case. But instead, I'll touch on the other aspects of this movie. 1, the characters, purely psychopathic. These two deserve each other because they both have something mentally wrong with them that needs to be addressed by a licensed psychiatrist. 2, the way the movie is shot. Horrible. Literally, it's be like, okay, I'm here, and I'm gonna have this conversation over here. So, you guys see me? Okay, you see, there's nothing happening over here. It's called lining up a stupid shot. And I know I might be off kilter from time to time myself. However, once again, I am a man with a phone in a car. They are a multi-million-dollar movie industry who can't even frame a decent shot. Or frame a decent idea of thought. Here it is. And this is the part that really pissed me off. So, Dorian is supposedly dead. Oh no, what is wrong with the world? I'm so sure he's dead. And then suddenly, and the world thinks he's dead, and then he walks into a Starbucks. This is supposedly going to be set in 2012, I want to say what it was in. But either way, we have phones. Someone who's dead and is back to life. You know someone's going to be like FaceTiming that. Holy crap, it's Dorian Gray. It's Dorian Gray. Dude, he's alive. He's alive. It's real. The earth is flat. Move on. See, stuff like that. Just multiple scenes that have no coherent plot, no coherent connection. And let me stress this once again to anyone out there. If you enjoy these movies, fine. I am not here to ruin your enjoyment of them. However, if you want to try to explain to me how they're actually good movies, I will be waiting for your actual reasons. And just saying that you like it does not make it good. When I say a movie is good, I got solid reasoning to back up behind it and can actually explain it within coherent thoughts in detail. Case in point for what I'm about to talk about next. 50 Shades Darker, much like its predecessor, is nothing but bad Twilight fanfiction that made it big because people found it tantalizing. And actually, most of us found it hilarious because... I'm sorry, I'm still thinking back some of the things. Who can read a book with the phrase, "My inner goddess is about to explode. He smacks me once. Twice." Almost, if I remember correctly, I think there's actually even spacing between it to emphasize this. But yeah, it's just a bad book turned into an even worse movie. At least that one I have an excuse for it being bad in the case that it's Twilight fanfiction. The next one... Well, if I see a bunch of downvotes in this video, I'm going to know exactly why, and it's for this one right here. Because the number 8 movie of the worst movies I've seen of this year, I've only seen it literally 2, maybe 3 weeks ago, but it's still stuck with me, and I cannot get this out of my head, and just how much it actively makes me mad. And you know what, if this was later on in the year, it might be higher. But my God, Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, is possibly one of the worst things I have ever seen. And I hear people trying to give it, you know, like, oh, all these characters are so in-depth and so developed. Man, it's so enjoyable seeing all these, like, Rose. Oh my God, Rose. She is a pivotal character in this movie. No, she's not. This entire movie doesn't need to exist. Literally, it does not. All you have to do to end this movie, to make everything better for both the Rebellion, Luke Skywalker, and everyone attached to this, is to simply do this. Are you ready? Hey, when Admiral Purple Hair, I don't know her name, I'm repressing it, and I'm trying my best to do it, is talking to Poe, instead of being a condescending... When he asks, hey, we're getting shot at here. Do you have any idea of how we can get away with this? All she has to do is look to him and say, yeah, I'm filling up the transports. We're going to sneak off to that little planet over there, you know, a former rebel base. They're looking for big ships, so they won't notice our small ones if we position thusly. So we're going to stick this ship, make it basically a giant screen, make them think we're all dead, and possibly start this rebellion all over again. And then Poe would say, you know... that makes a lot of sense. Jeez. And here I was gonna get Finn and some random chick to go off to a casino planet, get a bounty hunter, sneak on board that ship, cause a mutiny. By the way, I hope you're okay with me causing a mutiny. And then leading this whole debacle that will possibly kill the entire rebellion, so now that we can all fit on the stupid Millennium Falcon. Yeah, that would be kind of stupid. Because it was! I'm sorry. But this is something I've been building up for a while, and I need to get this out. Everyone is praising this movie, Episode 8, as being the best Star Wars film. The best. And don't get me wrong. Like I stated in my review, there are good scenes which is keeping this thing this low on the list. Because the Kylo Ren and Rey fight scene was actually really good. Mark Hamill trying his best in a movie he openly hates is good. And there's some actual decent moments in it. That bomber scene... take science out for the moment that bombs can fall in space, And I'm taking that bit away. It was still kind of a cool scene watching old girl try to kick the remote down. It felt like an old school World War II movie. Because I'm pretty sure they stole it from an old school World War II movie. Give me time, I will find it. But no, this movie is garbage. With some actually good scenes sprinkled on top. Finn and Rose, useless. Poe gets people killed. The Admiral gets more people killed. Rey is a Mary Sue who has no discerning character at all. Someone wanted me to tell... I'm sorry. A rant for another day. You can kind of see why I decided to make this 2 parts now, because the rest of these are going to be pretty much on par with just the amount of rage I have built up for some of these things. Some more than others, but you'll see when the time comes. But anyway, so yeah, Star Wars Episode 8, the 8th worst movie I saw this year. Might be higher if I was to do this about a month from now and I can still think about it more, but if I can still have this much rage after 3 weeks, non-stop, something is wrong here. And I'm even going to get touching on the political stuff of that movie because, oh man, this would be here all week. Okay, now on to something that actually makes me more upset, but not as much in the rage department. Because everybody recognize this as bad, and yeah, we should have seen it coming. So, number 7. The Legend of King Arthur. Basically what happens when you mix Dynasty Warriors, someone who just read the Arthurian lore off of Wikipedia, and has no idea how to shoot a scene. I'll say this about Star Wars, it was shot well and looked nice. This one, no. Grainy as grainy can be, lighting was just nowhere to be seen. And I'm sorry, but I think we need to set a limit at how many montages you need to have in a movie. Because I counted, last time I checked, 3 montages. One in getting the Allies montage. One's about him getting older and training montage. And the other about him basically going on the island, finding himself, and then finding the sword, and then suddenly gaining 15 experience points levels. I don't know. And how dare you get Peter Baelish from Game of Thrones into that movie and not do anything good with him? How does he not betray anybody? Seriously, it's Peter Baelish. Also, as much as I normally stay away from the whole political thing, I'm going to call a little bit sexism on that movie for once again having your only female character being called by her class. Literally, that is D&D 101. You learn the character's name. You don't call them by their class because then you sound like a racist idiot. Or just an ignorant idiot. Either way, the word idiot is in the freaking name. And that's the best way to describe this one right here. Idiotic the movie. Because you know what? King Arthur was possibly good and had some bad movies, but we really needed to stick at home with a massive budget that we don't know how the heck to shoot this. How hard is this? Boy is boy. Boy gets taught by wizard. Wizard takes him to sword. He pulls the sword. He then becomes king of all of England. Throw in whatever you want in the middle there, but don't make it Dynasty Warriors on freaking proud mode. And get good characters in there too, please. Some of the side characters were okay, but Arthur sucked. The mage sucked. Merlin was not in this movie. Oh, and when I see a better Wizard's Duel and freaking Sword in the Stone from Disney, you know you got something wrong. Oh, man. Okay, what do we got left? The last one in this video, guys, because as you see, I'm going to need more space for this. Number 6. This one is a record in how bad things are. Yeah, I got the list here again, guys. When you get on a massive rant, you kind of forget on what's coming next. And forgettable is kind of what best describes this movie because, oh my god, the mummy. How can you make the Brendan Fraser mummies look good by comparison? Easy. Make them dark with having no idea how to do that. Make it shaky cam as all hell. So that it looks like I'm about to throw up in the movie theater. Seriously, I felt sick watching that movie more so than when I did in another one coming up. And it was just chaos personified. It made no sense. So the mummy is trying to kill people to gain her power back, but she already has the power, but she needs more power to become one with death itself. And apparently they do American Werewolf in London where his friend is dead and keeps haunting him, but you don't know whose side he's on. Then he comes back and they're trying to make all this forced world building. Okay, to people trying to make a cinematic universe, Here is the secret to making a cinematic universe. Are you ready? Please, come in. This is a secret. I don't want anybody telling you this. Are you ready? Okay, here it is. Make good movies! First and foremost, before you make any universe, you need a good foundation. You need good movies to build upon. Marvel had Iron Man. And then the Hulk. And then Iron Man 2, which was kind of... But then you had Thor, you had Captain America, and then you had the Avengers. It all built on top of itself. And then you kept building, and so on, until finally you had this massive universe that you're actually looking forward to when everybody teams up. DC did it wrong once again. At least not in the beginning. They had the Superman movie, which was garbage, but at least they started with something. Then they tried Batman v Superman, which is basically trying to play catch-up with Marvel, because that's a good idea. Play catch-up. We're going to try to cram 20 movies into one. With a writer who has no idea what the hell he's doing. We're going to consult Frank Miller, because that makes no sense. And I'm going to wheel that back in for another day. But The Mummy is basically what you could say of the same thing. You had all these great ideas and a nice idea of execution, but you couldn't actually do it because you couldn't let the movie be in of itself. We couldn't go 5 minutes without, oh look, there's Dracula. Hey look, there's evidence of the Wolfman. The creature of the Black Lagoon. And are you Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? What? No, of course not. I am the respectable Dr. Jekyll. I am not Hyde. Oh, I'm sorry, what were you saying? Oh yeah, we have to kill you now. Oh, by the way, this is totally not S.H.I.E.L.D. Behind me, this is totally not, S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah. Oh man, that movie was bad. Just fail. Just fail. Poor England gets destroyed again. What's up with England getting destroyed now? It's like Chicago and England need to up their insurance policies because they just keep getting destroyed. Oh, but yes, The Mummy. Bad as it may be, it is only number 6 on my list, guys. Tune in for the next video when I go through my top 5. And I pray it'll be shorter than this, but... it's not gonna be. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.